Anaheim here, we switched our lines a little bit. We got our backup in against the Ducks. This is a huge win. We need to find a way to get a win here. So I just want to see here. We got what 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is our 8th last game. So after this, we'll have 7 games remaining. So let's keep simming here. And then we'll get right up against playoffs there and then end this episode. So first period against the Ducks, nothing. We need offense. We need offense in this game. Come on, second period, TJ Brody finally ends the shutout streak. But Richie, getting on the board for them. So very strong third period, Calgary. We have to have this divisional win in regulation, and we get it. Michael Ferland, Jaromir Jagr. So we were going to check Jagr because he's just been on fire. Richie has a 2-goal night for the Ducks, but that is a huge 3-2. Don't underestimate how big of a win that is at that point in the season. I know this isn't real life, but if that was real life, wow, that's a huge win at that point in the season against that team that's above us. So 2-point night for James Neal. He finds a way to get on the board. Gaudreau manages another point. He's still 4 goals back, I believe, of 30, but does get a point there. Monahan doesn't get a point, so he's really slowed down this last half of the month. But you know what? You can't complain because he had a really bad start and he picked it up. But he'll still be probably a 60-point guy. I hope so. But, you know, you would hope for Monahan to be closer to 70 as well as you would hope for Gaudreau to be closer to 80. So John Gillies comes in, has another stellar performance with a .929 save percentage, and gets the win. I mean, that's 4 for 4 in his NHL career. So you know what? He's staying in the net at this point. We're just rolling with the hot hand, and most importantly, we're just resting Mike Smith and preventing Smith from getting injured. So we do have the Sharks coming up again. We'll keep the same lines as our 3-2 win. So 7th last game of the season. San Jose. So first period, nothing. Second period, Sharks on the board. Team Meyer, big third period. Come on, we can't go another game with getting shut out. Calgary, come on, offense, and we get shut out again. Okay, Chris Tierney. Okay, so really, to only have 3 goals in our last 3 games, that's not good. So we do have to switch something up offensively. We're shut out twice. There's that top line. So I don't want to take James Neal off the top line, but my God, they've really been dry this last 3, 4, 5 games maybe. Gillies has been on his head though. These last 5 games. I mean, or last how many games that he's been in. So he does lose his first ever NHL game. He goes, 5 for 6 in his NHL career, or 5 for 1 in his NHL career. So now it's the team that he got the win against. His first NHL win last season, that's the LA Kings. So do we keep him in? I'm just looking at Columbus here. We could give Smith one of these games, Gillies one of these games. Let's put, you know what, let's keep Gillies in. Then we'll try Smitty there against Columbus, depending on what he does. But resting Smith is huge at this point. But we'll switch up our offense, because we found a way to not score a goal. Like I said, 3 goals in our last 3 games, shutout in 2 of those games. Not good against divisional opponents. So we do clinch a playoff spot. So I don't know if this is the first time we're seeing this, but 97 points, we have officially clinched a playoff spot. So the Calgary Flames are returning to the Stanley Cup playoffs. This is good, back-to-back years in the playoffs. That's what we need. 3 of our last 4 years in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So that is what we need, because that's 2015, 2017, and 2018 were in the playoffs. 2016 was a pretty bad year for every Canadian team, but we find a way to be in the playoffs 3 of the last 4 years, so that's pretty big. 105 for the Ducks, 97 for us. LA holds that wild. So LA's fighting right now for their lives. We are just fighting for home ice at this point, and just playoff positioning. So that is good. You know, I don't want to take Neal off the top line, but nothing was going, so we'll just reverse these 2. But you know what? Yager's been really hot, so why don't we give Jagr a chance to be on the top? I just want to see how many goals he has this season. 25. So he's 5 goals away, 1 back of Johnny Gaudreau, I believe, for the team lead. But as well as 5 away from 30. So where the hell Jagr came out of nowhere. Definitely nobody expected this much out of him this season. 25 goals, 21 points, and he's only on $1 million this season. You know what? If he doesn't retire in this game, and I have a good chance. There's a good chance I think he will, with his age being 46, being 47 next year. I don't know. I haven't played this game yet to see if he retires after the first season. But if he doesn't, I wouldn't mind bringing him back, because that's for a third liner. Because like I said, I think we still want to go out and address a top line spot in the off season. Even though we have James Neal, I think we want to get another top six forward in the season to really push us over the top for next year. But I would not mind bringing back Jaromir Jagr next year on a similar contract to this. If he can continue to put up even if he puts up like half of what he's got this season, that's a solid outing from a third liner. So reunite him up there. We'll put Steger back in because Brouwer does nothing. We'll keep Lazar out for now. And we'll see if we can get a win here. Okay. So what, 6 games remaining, I believe we have on the season. We got the LA Kings, who I mentioned are fighting for their lives. So we're keeping Gillies going here. Oh, you shut out in the 2 of our last 3, so we got to get offense going here. Our top line would be really good if they could get going. We got Jagr on that top line first period, and they get 2. Like, Jesus, we got to get something here, guys. Come on. Brown and Doughty. Second period, Calgary Flames. Oh, my God. All right. Come on, offense. Like, 14 shot. Like, come on. Like, Jesus, 3 goals this period. Please, Calgary. Oh, my God. That's 3 of our last 4 games we've been shut out. That is... Okay. Ugh. This is a really bad time of the season for our offense to go snake bitten. Because, I mean, we are just, with playoffs, I know we've clinched the spot, but come on, guys. Playoffs are right around the corner. Oh, this is not good, not good. Alright, so. Gillies has dropped his last 2. We'll bring Smitty back in the net. Gillies had a pretty good run there for us, so it's nice to know that we can, he's a solid backup. At this point, I would have extreme confidence in him coming in and, coming in the playoffs if he had to, in replacement of Mike Smith, and I'd have extreme confidence for him to get the job done. So, okay. Okay, so I believe we have 5 games left, but let's find a way to get our offense going. Shutout in 3 of our last 4 games. Like, that almost never happens in real life. 3 of your 4, and I mean, we were like 3rd in the NHL in scoring, so I just don't get it. So put Neil back up there, Jagr, Bennett, Jankel. I mean, what do you do? Put Lazar in, I guess. I don't want to touch too much of the other stuff. I don't think we need to panic just yet. I mean, 3 of our last 4 games to score 3 goals in our last 4 games is pretty damn bad. And to be shut out in 3 of those games is pretty damn bad, but I don't think we can just go too drastic yet. We'll take out Kulak. He was a -2 in the last game. We'll bring in Bart, give him a game here. We played Kulak the majority of the season. Bring Bart in again, but first, or most important here, is we will put Smitty back in the net. Hope he had a good little rest there over the last couple of weeks. Just want to see how many games we've played him this season. Yeah, so 61 games. So real life, that's a lot of games to play a guy, especially a guy that's 36 years of age. He shouldn't be playing too much more than that. He's had a really solid season with a .912 save percentage, 36 wins, but we don't want to go too crazy with him. Gillies has come in through 5 games and has put up a really good 3 wins and .925 save percentage. So in the small sample size in this season in the NHL, Gillies has been really solid for us, but he'll probably get another couple of games this season before the end of the season, but yeah, we don't want to be playing Smitty too much more than 60 games a season anyway. So we really relied on Smith a lot this season, but that's okay. That's why he's our #1 goalie. So just, okay. So yeah, I believe we have 5. There's 2, there's 3. Yeah, so we got 5 games remaining. We are at the end of the month of March. And we've got the 31-39-7 Columbus Blue Jackets. So let's get this game going. This is our only game that remains that's not a divisional game. But we still need the 2 points in this one because we have found a way to lose quite a bit of our most recent games. So again, offense. Snake bit in the first. Second period, Calgary Flames. There we go. We finally break through for a 3, and it's our third/fourth line getting it done for Erlen Bennett. Hamilton as well. Dubinsky on the board for them. So strong fourth period. I love an outbreak from our top 2 lines here. And we might have got it. We did. Yager, Monahan gets on the board. Lazar, Hamnick. So Monahan and Yager at least getting on the board. Like to see that. Lazar in the game. So big offensive outburst there. Just a bunch of random players scoring like Hamnick and Lazar. But hey, we'll take it 7-1 over the Columbus Blue Jackets. Wonder who picked up the rest of the points in this one. If Gaudreau and company had points. So 5-point night for Dougie Hamilton. Really solid 2-point night for Bennett, Brody, Gio, Hamnick, and Yager. Ferland a point. Furley, Monahan. So Neal and Gaudreau, nothing. Are you kidding me? Like how do you score 7 goals in a hockey game and both James Neal and Johnny Gaudreau don't even record a point? Like what? What like? I know Neal had 4. Like what? That's just. Ugh. All right, Smith comes back in from his little break there and has a 9.5 save percentage in this one, so pretty solid outing there. Columbus doesn't look like they're a good team this hockey season, so we will go against the Edmonton Oilers here. So I just want to quickly look, because now we're in the, literally in the crunch of the season, the last 4 games of the NHL season. I just want to see where the Oilers sit here in the divisional standings to make sure, this is probably again, it's all about playoff position. So they've clinched, we've clinched, but there they are, 95 or at 99. So 4 points. That's not a lot of separation. So we gotta pretty much win this hockey game. We don't want to slip to third. As it is, it's a battle of Alberta. If the playoffs started right now, we play them, that which is going to be exciting. But we want the home ice advantage in this one. So. Wow, I'm just thinking of that. The Battle of Alberta in the playoffs for the first time in how long? That could be exciting. And it looks like it's shaping up to be that way. Because the Coyotes are pretty damn far back, and the Ducks are starting. Look at the Ducks, 107, the Coyotes 85. Us and the Oilers are it's pretty much going to be a Oiler versus Flames Stanley Cup playoff run. In round 1, so that's exciting. So this is going to be a little preview of probably our first round. So let's see what happens here. That's exciting. As a true Flamer Oiler fan, you have to be excited with that potential coming up here. So first period they got on the board, Gryba. Second period they get on the board twice, Gryba and Lucci, and watch us get shut out again. We don't for league scores, but we lose this one 3-1. So not good, because now they're only 2 points back of us. So see where these wins come are really important. That was probably the most important game of the season, and we shit the bed. So that is good. Sarcasm, of course. So, after putting up 7, we only put up 1. So, it's really not a good time for our offense to go on an inconsistent streak here. Smitty, 889. Ugh. I'm just not liking that. I'm just, we were so good in the month of February and beginning of March, and then we just, how does our offense just do this? That's the inconsistency. I mean, that's just and Dougie Hamilton now leads us in points with 64. So really good season for Hamilton. Breakout career year for him, but definitely not in the goals department. But I mean, where's the rest of our guys? All right, so 3 games remain as we kick off the month of April here. 99, they're 97. One more point, we hit the 100-point plateau. But the Oilers are closing on us very, very quickly. So, do we keep Smitty in against his former team? I think we do. And then we'll give Gillies at least one of the remaining 2 games here. Just looking here. Smitty, Gillies, and then either Smitty or Gillies. But we'll keep Smitty in against his former team here. Oh, okay. Come on off. I'm not even going to change my lines. I'm just going to rely on our lines to get it done here when we need it the most. All right, first period, Calgary Flames get on the board. First, Michael Backlund beating Antti Rantala. Second period, we do get on the board. Dougie Hamilton gets his 7th of the season. Luke Shen, big, strong third period, huge divisional win. Come on, and we get it. Gaudreau and Tkachuk, so that is huge. I think Gaudreau's about 3 goals back of 30 on the season, and he's only got 2 games left to get those. So don't know if he's going to hit it, but that is good to see for the Calgary Flames. So 4-1 win, we will take it. Hopefully the Oilers lost, and we get some separation on them there. 2-point night there for Backlund and Froyo. Gaudreau gets on the board, so does Neal with an assist. I bet you Monahan, who's up there, he got an assist, so we'll take it. But I'd like to see a little bit more offense out of that top line. And 9.72 save percentage there for Mike Smith against his former team. So I think what we'll do is we will just look at... give Gillies the Winnipeg game, and then maybe Smith the last game of the season to finish. So let's sim up to the Jets, and then we got the Knights to finish off our 2017-18 season. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this season. I mean, pretty solid season for the Calgary Flames, especially with all that inconsistency throughout the season. I mean, we projected to be up here anyway, but for it to all come together, it's pretty exciting to see. So we do hit the 100-point plateau. We get 101. Oilers win, though, as well, so they get 99. They're only 2 points back, so we pretty much got to win out the rest of our season to solidify home ice advantage and hope that they lose. So, but we definitely got to win out. So we'll give Gillies the net here, 37, 33, and 10 for the Winnipeg Jets. So don't think they're a playoff team this year. They're probably just trying to play spoiler at this point, but we would love to see... Calgary Flames with home ice advantage going into that first round matchup against the Oilers. So keep everything the same. Again, Lazar hasn't done too much. We'll bring Rage and Stajan back in for what could be one of his final games as a Calgary Flame and maybe in the NHL, but I bet you he'll be back next year, just not with us. We'll put Kulak back in as well. Take Bart out just for the fun of it. Oops. And 2 games remaining, and then it is Stanley Cup playoffs time. So this is exciting. Okay. And we'll start that in episode 8. So first round, we'll try and get the whole first round in there. Or we will get the whole first round in 8. Don't know how many rounds we'll get through. Don't know how we're going to do these playoffs, but we'll figure that out in episode 8. So, all right. Second last game of the National Hockey League season for the Calgary Flames. Sean Mathias versus Sean Monahan in the first period. And we get on the board. It's James Neal, 30 seconds in, but Kane and Wheeler. So Kane is back in Winnipeg. He gets on the board. Wheeler as well, beating Gillies. So strong second period. We only had 7 shots. Come on, Calgary. Strong offensive second period. We tie it up. Yager and Frolik. So really strong finish here. Come on, Calgary. Come on, push. And nothing. So we have to go to overtime. So give me a second. All right, back in this one. So it is Johnny Gaudreau potting, I believe, his 28th of the NHL season in overtime on a beautiful cycle with TJ Brody. So the Flames pick it up a much-needed 2 points in Winnipeg in overtime. That's what you like to see. Beautiful stuff there out of the Calgary Flames. So we do win our final road game of the season. Only 2 minutes and 6 seconds for Sam Bennett, so he does get injured in this one. But again, we will hope that it is only a minor injury, which means he does not miss significant amount of time. So Hamilton, 2 more points. Excuse me, Giordano, 2 more points. For Leak, 2 more points. As mentioned, Gaudreau getting the overtime winner. Neal picking up a goal in this one. Tkachuk Monahan's up there. He picks up an assist. So I'd like to see that as well. John Gillies, another superb night, facing 42 shots from the Winnipeg Jets. 929 save percentage for Gillies. So it's really a toss-up of who gets the final game there against the Vegas Golden Knights. But that is a massive win for the Calgary Flames. 4-3 in overtime. So again, I can only hope that the Oilers lost and that we won to give us that separation that we need. But we're still going to have to win out our final game of the season against the Golden Knights. So, you hope for a hat trick out of somebody like James Neal against his former team in this final game, but you also want to see Johnny hit that 30-point plateau, which I believe he's 2 goals back. Jaromir Jagr, I think he's, 4 or 5 goals back, so I don't know if he's going to get it. So there it is. Sam Bennett is out. So that is a massive loss April 22nd. Holy shit. So he is going to be out for the first round, possibly the next round as well. Wow. All right, so that is not good news. Luckily, though, it was not Sean Monahan and it was not Michael Backlund. We did not lose one of our... luckily, it wasn't any of these top players. Sam Bennett's been good for us this season, but you hate to see that. So this gives Jankowski a really good opportunity going into the Stanley Cup playoffs to be a solid third-line centerman. He's already one better now than Stajan with this time he's grown in the NHL. So we will bring him there. We will bring... we'll put Versteeg up there, and then we'll bring, Troy Brouwer back into this hockey game, or Curtis Lazar, doesn't matter at this point. We'll give it to Lazar. I want to continue to grow him. So I'll substitute you there, and then we're going to have to just quickly fix up these lines, so I'll just quickly do that. It's just, Bennett was just on a couple of these, so we'll bring in, we'll bring Neil on the penalty kill. Yeah, I'm sure he's got some decent defensive stats. Not bad, not bad. 84 defensive awareness. And then, what else was he in? He was in overtime as well. Okay, 4 on. So you got Neil, you got, well, give Jankowski some time. I'd like to really grow him anyway on that. And then, here, I believe, we can put, Froyo in on this as well. Or Yager. Yager's not in on 3-on-3 yet. So, we'll get Yager in there. Give Neil the center position. So, quickly fix our lines there. I think we will keep Gillies in net. We do need the win, though, against Vegas, as Edmonton does pick up 2 points there. So they're 101, we are 103. If we win, we clinch second in the division. Anaheim's already clinched top spot in the Pacific, so they are the Pacific Division champions 2017-18. But we can clinch second in home ice over the Edmonton Oilers. So it is going to be Calgary versus Edmonton. Again, you look at Anaheim with 107 there. Vancouver, who jumps up to 88 with that 4th spot, but it does look like both wild card playoff spots are going to the Central Division. So good for them. Happy to see that. It's unfortunate that, the teams like Vegas and Arizona had to slip out of the playoffs this year. They were having such a good season right up till the end. So we need this win. So what I think I'm going to do here is put Mike Smith in. Not that I don't have any faith in John Gillies. It's just, you just got to, 71 versus 83. Just put the better goalie in for this one. See if we can get the W. I am a little concerned that Sam Bennett just got injured and, like I said, is out for most of this. That's a massive dagger. He's a good depth player for us. For him to miss significant time going in, for us to lose any player going into the playoffs, you don't want to see that at all. But, that's part of the game. That's why we leave injuries on. It happens in real life, and that's part of it. So, sim up to here. But like I said, this gives Jankowski a really good opportunity to step into that third-line center and maybe have his coming-out party in the NHL officially, like Sam Bennett did a few years ago in the 2015 Stanley Cup playoffs. Our plan is to obviously grow Mark Jankowski into a solid third-line center. I see Jankowski, both in real life and in this game, I see Jankowski becoming a guy similar to that guy like Nick Bonino in Pittsburgh, and what he did for them. He was one of the most, behind Crosby, behind Malkin, you had a guy like Nick Bonino who could come in and was a very solid third-line centerman and provided you depth on that third line. So we were down 1-0 in the first period in our final game of the NHL season. Colin Miller, second period, come on, Calgary. Oh, do not lose this game. Do not get shut out. Riley Smith scores. Come on, Calgary. 2 goals. Just score 2 goals. Just get me to overtime. Come on. Fuck. Jesus. I hate these fucking I don't know. I fucking hate this. I can't stand when we get shut out so many games there. Good news is nobody got injured. At least it doesn't look like it. Bad news is that we fucking shit the bed and the Oilers probably won. So it's going to come down to a tiebreaker and watch them fucking get the home ice. That just pisses you off as a Flames fan to see the Oilers jump you after you were second in the division all season long. And not a bad night for Smitty, though. That's just fucking brutal, though. Come on. You can't score a fucking goal in the... Oh my god, how do you fix consistency? We brought in a guy like James Neal. How do you fix... I can bring in guys in the off-season. If we fucking are inconsistent next season, I'm gonna... So the good news is that, I I guess the season's ended for us. Does that mean no, it says the regular season's ended, so that means the Oilers finished third and we do finish second. So 103. Yeah, everybody's played 82 games there. So that is good. We will play the Edmonton Oilers in the Stanley Cup playoffs. But we do fucking shit the bed there in the final game. I'm just pissed about that. But you know what? Really good season for the Calgary Flames. We finished one win away from hitting 50. One more win, like that win against Vegas there, would have gave us 50 wins on the season. So I don't remember the last time the Flames have hit the 50-win plateau in an NHL season, but they do so now in 2018. So that's exciting. The Oilers, as mentioned, they finished 1 point back of us. So 1 point. That's all it came down to between us for home ice advantage. But you know what? The exciting part is the Battle of Alberta in the Stanley Cup playoffs is officially back for the first time since when? Since the 90s at some point, I think. Might even been since 1990. I don't know. 89 maybe even? It's been that long. Because we didn't meet them in 2000 ever. So that's really exciting. So look here at we'll start with the Pacific. We're just going to wrap this video now, but just quickly look at the standings before we start episode 7 in the stand. This is probably a pretty long video, but I just want to finish off because it is the end of the regular season. Let's take a look at the stats. So 109, we finished 103, Edmonton 102. The only teams in the Pacific Division are the Ducks, Flames, and Oilers that make the playoffs. Canucks finished with 90 points. Kings, Coyotes, Knights finished second last. And then the San Jose Sharks, who by surprise to many finished dead last in the Pacific and possibly the Western. Look, there is the Ducks, Flames, Oilers. So again, the top 3 teams in the Pacific are also the top teams in the Western Conference. Predators come in with clinching their division at 98 points, so the reigning Western Conference champions clinched their division. Stars 1 point back of them, the Blues as well, and then both Minnesota and Chicago clinched the wild card spot. So Vancouver was tied with Chicago, so it was that close that Chicago could have been out, Vancouver could have been in. So that would have been kind of a surprise to see if the Canucks would have made the playoffs over the Hawks. But it does end up that these are your Western Conference teams. Avs, Kings, Jets, Coyotes, Knights, Sharks all missed the playoffs. And yes, the Sharks are dead last in the Western Conference. So probably going to be some massive changes there. In the East, it looks like this. Toronto just dominates all season long. I believe they win the President's Trophy for the first time in their franchise's history in quite a long time. Good to see that for Toronto. Pittsburgh, 106. Tampa Bay, 101. Boston, 97. Florida, 93. They're going back to the playoffs. Sabres are back in the Stanley Cup playoffs for the first time in, 7 years? 92 points. They get in. Montreal just misses with 91. So no playoffs for them. 87, the Rangers managed to squeak in. 86, the Senators managed just to miss the playoffs. So quite disappointing for a couple Canadian teams there. And the Philadelphia Flyers clinched that final spot with 84 points. Devils just missed. The Islanders, the Capitals miss. Hurricanes, Blue Jackets, and Detroit Red Wings. So expected probably to see Detroit and Carolina down here. Definitely didn't expect to see Columbus and Washington down here. Definitely would have had them locked for the playoffs. Isles, Jersey misses, but yeah, and Montreal and Ottawa. But look at that, Florida, and very exciting for Buffalo. What a time to be for the Buffalo Sabres as they finally get back to the playoffs. And the Bruins, I don't know if I had them making the playoffs, but so that's pretty exciting. As mentioned, the Toronto Maple Leafs do clinch the President's Trophy. Anaheim clinches the Western Conference. And as mentioned, we finished just a few points back of them. So 4th in the NHL for the Calgary Flames in 2017-18. I don't know about you, but I would call that a pretty goddamn good season for the Calgary Flames, who go 49, 28, and 5. So pretty damn good. Goals for, let's just see where we finished. We finished 4th. 4th in the NHL in goals for. So despite our extremely inconsistent season offensively, especially in the last month or so, we've managed to still finish 4th in the goals for department. In the goals against, 218. We should be in the top half, and we're smack in the middle again. Where are we? So we're actually in the bottom half here, so I should just go like this. No, we're in the middle somewhere. Right there, we're in the middle, probably around the 15-16 mark again in goals against, so we could have definitely improved that. We're going to have to find out how we can improve that going into next season. Power play, we are in the top, we just managed to stay in the top half for our power play, 19.5. I have not switched the power play up all season, so maybe that's something we address going into the playoffs, because we were a lot higher. PK, though, hopefully has improved Yes, it has. We are just in the middle as well. So we were at 1 point, because we're 81 something, yeah. So there we are, 81.1. So we're not in the bottom half, we're not in the top half of the PK, but we were at 1 point this season. We were second last in the penalty kill department. So that is extremely good news to see that we've improved that. But our power play, maybe we'll look at switching that up in the next video ahead of our meeting with the Edmonton Oilers in round 1. So look here at our player stats. We'll look at Edmonton in the next video. We'll do a full preview of that playoff matchup in the next video. But just look quickly at where we finish in terms of our players. 67 points. Dougie Hamilton leads the team, 67 points, as I mentioned. His best year, breakout season for him. He only gets 7 goals, but has 60 damn assists. Like, that's pretty good. Might even have led the NHL in that department. That's pretty good. Johnny Gaudreau, 64 points. So like I said, I would have liked to seen him about 10 to 15 points more to be around the 80-point plateau. Did miss a few games there in the early part of the season. Was injured for a bit, but still manages to put through a 60-point season. TJ Brody also hits a 60-point plateau, so good for him. So does Michael Backlund, 24 goals and 36 points. Johnny Gaudreau also led our team in goals, but finished just 2 goals shy of the 30 goal plateau. James Neal has 28, but he also scored a majority of those with the Golden Knights. So I'm trying to think what his stats were. It was like, I think he had 26 goals. No, he didn't. He had, I forget what it is. I'll have to go back and look and see what he did in his short time as a Calgary Flame. I know it wasn't too good. But I'll add up his games played, goals, and points as a Calgary Flame in the next video. But he is 1 point away from 60 points. Matthew Tkachuk, 1 point away from hitting the 60-point plateau. 27 goals on the season. And then Sean Monahan down here only hits 50 points, but you know what? That's not too bad. I'd like to see him around the 60-point plateau, but 10 points difference is not too bad. 2 goals shy, though, of his goal department was, usually he's around 34 assists, but he should have been around 30 goals as well. So, Jaromir Jagr, amazing season for him, 27 goals. Like I said, 1 point back for the 50-point plateau, but like I said, if this guy can hit the, or if this guy can come back next season and doesn't retire, hitting the 50-point plateau, I will definitely bring him back as a third liner next season. Pretty good stuff out of him. Sam Bennett, like I said, he's injured till about end of April, so we're going to miss him for the first chunk of the Stanley Cup playoffs, possibly rounds 1 and 2, but he puts up 36 points in 81 games. Not the breakout season he was hoping for, but we'll make a decision on Sam Bennett going forward. 31 points for Stig, 30 for Giordano. I'd like to see a lot more of Mark Giordano, but maybe this is the start of his decline as he's now 34, coming 35 years of age. There's Stajan in his final season as a Calgary Flame, 18 points. Dmitry Askins in the AHL. Broward Jankowski, not the season you would have liked to see out of him. He did play mostly on the 4th line, but finished the year mostly on the 3rd line, and will start the playoffs as a 3rd line center. But 14 points in 82 games. Hopefully he can grow, though. 76, if he can just get into, the early 80s next year, like 80, 81, I'd love to bring him into the season and start like that. Ferland, 14 points. Hamnick, 12. -5 for Kulak, so that's kind of, 5 points. He played the majority of the season, but -5, so make a decision on Kulak going forward if we, maybe he's not the best option as our 6th defenseman. See if he grows, but we also have the emergence of guys like Rasmus Anderson next year. Michael Stone, not a good season out of him at -8 and only 5 points. Just to look here at the bottom guys here. So, I'm not going to dissect this team right now. I know I kind of just did, but we still got the playoffs ahead of us. We'll do that at the end of the season. 65 games played by Mike Smith. You usually don't see that. That we leaned on him heavily, but does put up a 914 save percentage. So pretty all around, pretty damn good season by Mike Smith. Was our best player, most consistent player all season through 6 games. John Gillies has a 926 save percentage, so really good for Gillies. I mentioned that I think Gillies will be our backup next season, so I don't think we have to address the goaltending going into next season. I'm all pretty happy with our goaltending overall this season, including Eddie Lack, who we traded away. But with Gillies and Smith as a tandem, I kind of like that going into next season. I think we have to seriously look at our defense maybe and our offense definitely going into next season. But hey, this season's not over. We still have the Stanley Cup playoffs ahead, and it is the Calgary Flames and the Edmonton Oilers for the first time in I don't even know when, but first time in a long time in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Battle of Alberta, round 1. This is going to be exciting. We will kick that off in episode 7, or is it episode 8? Episode 7, I think it is, because this is, what, 6? I don't even know anymore. Whatever. Next episode, it will be the Stanley Cup playoffs, Oilers and Flames, and one of these teams are going home and are going to be really upset after round 1. Let's hope it's not us. Let's hope it's Edmonton.